Hey everyone, welcome back to another video and thank you for joining me again today. I am working with the second page of the Family Fun Kit that I got from Simple Stories, and I love how this one turns out. I am basically, pretty much I do almost exactly to the sketch. Um, I think that there was something I took from this sketch or this side and added it to the first page, but I honestly don't remember what that is at the moment. So we'll just figure that out as we go. What I did, I do have a couple extra photos and I am going to use a flip flap, which I'm going to kind of talk about in real time with you and tell you how I added the flip flap. I had somebody kind of asking about that. So I do have a couple more photos than what's shown, and I didn't know how to dwindle it down because you will see, I will talk about these photos a little more. But before I talk about the photos, I kind of want to tell you what I'm doing here. So they have this film strip, which was on this side, and I didn't know where to put all my photos. So I decided to fill one of the film strip spots with some type journaling. And I am so excited with how that turned out. I think it's really cute. It's a great spot for my journaling, and I'm really excited about this. So I actually, again, along with the mini golfing one that I thought I had pictures of, which I apparently had already scrapped, I had already scrapbooked some movie pictures that I was going to use with this collection. So I'm going to have to wait on some more of that. But um, yeah, and I know some of these videos are going to be intertwined with some other videos using a different collection. So just bear with me. As long as I'm making videos, you guys don't care, right? So this 4x6 photo, I love this. Let me tell you about the photos. A lot of you know my son goes to a camp for type 1 diabetic kiddos. Well, in 2020, they, couldn't go to camp, obviously, because of everything. He actually couldn't go. They had like a one-day thing in 2021. Kind of a sad thing because it was his last year going as a, last chance to go as a camper. But hopefully in the future he can go as a counselor. So I'm not going to dwell on that too much. But one thing they did to kind of take the place, still have like a get together. This was after things started opening up just a little bit. I think this was before they got rid of the masks the first time around. But anyways, they had basically a drive-in movie night, and you pulled up, you can see there's some pictures of the counselors, and I mentioned about the masks because they're standing outside, but they're all in masks still. We didn't have to wear masks in the cars, but they did just for safety. Um, anyways, you drove up and one person handed you a box of goodies, and another, you drive a little further and there'd be another counselor, telling you where to go, and you drive a little further and there'd be another person telling you, you know, giving you something else or saying hi or, different things, and then, telling you where to park. And so it was really great the people who work at this camp are amazing people. And like, I hope someday that I have time to volunteer, with younger kids. I never have, but I think it would be so much fun to go spend a summer there and, get to hang out with a bunch of kids and stuff. Um, anyways, any way to impact them in their lives. Sorry, I got a little distracted there by my son. Um, so what they did was they put up like this screen, and I don't really know how they made it work, but there was a screen along the side of some building. We all pulled into this parking lot, watched this movie. They made it go through like through the car radio type thing. So it was really like a drive-in movie. That's how we listened to it. And it was just a really fun experience. We kind of joke with my son because one of the things they gave was this little flag that you might see in one of the pictures. I don't know, it's in the flip flap part, I think, but you waved the flag out your window of your car if you wanted more popcorn, and they would bring over popcorn. In fact, I think they made so much popcorn that they were coming to the cars saying, "Hey, you guys want more popcorn?" So my youngest son, popcorn's like one of his top favorite foods. So he ate a lot of popcorn. And that was a big joke from that night. So, but a lot of fun. We watched Princess Bride. I had never seen that movie before. So, I was at first thinking, oh, why that movie? But actually, it turned out to be not too bad. So it was a good choice. The other thing they did was also had like online ordering. So you could go online order, camp gear and they would bring it to the car. So I think the way they did it was just really amazing and fun. And these photos are perfect for this layout. It just comes together. And I pretty much, you can see kind of on the right hand side of the screen, how the layout pretty much is. And I follow it fairly closely. I think I think I follow it almost exactly, maybe. The popcorns might be a little different, but kind of looking at it, what I can see on the screen and looking at my layout, it's actually fairly close. So I want to say that I pretty much follow along with it. And I am going to apologize too, because I do not have still shot photos at the end, but yeah, actually, I should add some photos. I think I do have some photos. I can't find the layout, so I didn't know if I would have photos or not, but I'm going to go look one more time because I'm almost positive that I took photos of the layouts. But here's where I'm going to go to real time and kind of talk to you about the flip flaps. Hey everyone, I'm going to take a moment here to share. I had a couple questions about the flip flaps in the last video I did where I shared that I used the flip flaps. One of the questions was not really sure how to put them on, and sorry about that. One of the questions was how to put them on, and I'm going to show you how I put them on. There is two different ways. I'm going to show you how I do it, and then I can kind of show you how another way you could do it is. Basically, the two ways is to put them under basically on the page, and then you cut the page protector, or you can put them on top of the page protector over your photos. I feel more secure with them being on the paper. They stick really well. It works better for me. So I'm going to do it that way this time around. I have some 4x4 photos here, still following along with this for the most part. What I do, make sure that the photos that you want to be seen, you don't glue down to the page, because if this is going to go over, then, if this was the photo, this went over it, then you wouldn't see that. So this photo and this photo, and sometimes I will take just a tiny dab of adhesive and put these together. Now before you do that, this is a 4x4, so you basically have the option to glue it to your page this way or this way or this way. I mean, doing it this way, yeah, you could. That might be a little more difficult because it always flap open. So they come flat like this with this adhesive strip. And what you do is there's already like a score line, so you fold it. You can adhere it this way and just have it flap up, which is what I did with the one layout that I did recently. But if you want that adhesive to be hidden, then you want to fold it backwards so that this is on top of, so that the adhesive is on this side. And I'll show you. Let me put the photos in. Now, how you put your photos in, pay attention. The good thing is you can slide them in and out unless you glue them like I'm going to glue them. I want mine to flip up, so I'm going to, let's see, I want this photo to be this direction when it's flipped up. So I'm going to put it down and then put this one on top. You don't have to use the adhesive. It's just something I do on occasion. So now when it flips, I mean, if you flip it this way, this one's going to be upside down. But when it flips up and down, it'll be the right way. So I want these 4 photos to be on top. So I'm going to slide this into the page protector, or I guess the flip flap. So now that's what I mean. When this is folded back, it's hidden behind. So when you have it on the page, if you glue it behind this other photo, you won't really see much of that adhesive. So that is the main way that I like to do it. Again, you can glue it down like this. Maybe if you wanted to glue it down underneath this photo, you could still do that, and it would even, you know, it's not stuck, so it's kind of giving me a little trouble right now. But you could do it this way as well. But I prefer, it's just easier to do it underneath the one that you want it to go under. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. But when I add adhesive to this, wherever I want this adhesive to go behind the photo, if it's the top, I will not add adhesive to the top, very top portion. If I want it to go on the side, then I won't add adhesive all the way to the side. So keep that in mind when you're adding glue. I've messed up on that multiple times. I'm going to add quite a bit of glue to this just to make sure it's nice and secure. Now I'm going to go ahead and line it up. I'm going to take my T-square ruler. Now again, I don't have adhesive along the top. I've got it everywhere else. You can kind of see where I've got all the adhesive, just not at the top. So I'm going to line up my ruler. I have a little extra room because I'm changing up the sketch a little. But I'm just going to go ahead and say, yeah, that's about good right there. So I'm gluing that down. Again, there is no adhesive. Oops, well, of course, now I can't get underneath it. There is no adhesive underneath here. You can see I can easily go through here. Let me zoom in for you. Maybe that'll help a little bit. So now I have this other, I don't know where those came from. Let me get that out of the way because I'm having trouble. There we go. So now again, I have this. I have folded the adhesive part back, and I'm going to glue it down. Now, I like to get it nice and bent, but when I go to do this part, sometimes I will unbend it just to line it up. That's just my OCD. You don't have to do it. But I like to keep it unbent, line up the photos, see, so it's not, you don't want to glue it like that, or, I mean, however you want it to look. It'd be kind of cool if you did it kind of like this too. There's different things you can do, but I'm going to line it up and see if I can do this because I'm on camera, so that's when it usually messes up, right? Then you just simply pull off the adhesive strip that's sticking to me, and then I just keep my hand on it to keep it in place. Now I'm just going to simply fold this under. Now it's extremely sticky. I'm probably doing it the harder way. So get the adhesive strip underneath there and then line it up. That's probably a little easier. Line it up and then simply press down. I like to open it up and press it down really well. And you can see, can you see that it kind of goes up a little further, but at least it's like mostly hidden. And then if you feel, if you want to, oops, wasn't paying attention. I don't know how well the wet glue will stick to that, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm just going to hold it for a second. You don't have to because I added extra adhesive to the bottom of the photo. That part really is not a deal breaker. I just thought I would show you that you can squeeze some adhesive. And now it's there, and oops, it's there, and it's for the most part nice and even. And then let me zoom back out. Oops. Now I have, well, I added more photos to the one 4x4, but now I have 2 extra photos on here that I didn't really want to leave out. They were part of the story, but I have extra photos. And now I'm going to go ahead and glue this one on here. And if you wanted to, you could line that top photo up so that when it's opened, so like right there, it's also covered. I'm not too worried about that because, actually, I don't know. I'm not really too worried about that because it's going to, for the most part, remain closed. So, I mean, you can do whatever you want. If you keep it down low, you might see some in between, but it really, you know, it's up to you and your preference. So I hope this was helpful. And when I get to the end of the video, I will show you how I put this in the page protector and how I cut the page protector. Okay. Well, I hope that was helpful for anybody who has had questions about the flip flaps, and I will leave a link below to the flip flaps because if you are a person who scrapbooks a lot of photos, it is a really amazing way, and it's, you know, it actually can be a fun element to add to your pages as well. I'm just going to go ahead and put the rest of this layout together. Again, I think other than they might have called for a 4x6 photo, and I ended up changing it to 2 3x4s on that one black, whatever this photo mat is here. And so I trimmed the photo mat down. I wonder if it was a 5x7. It could have even been a 5x7. I honestly don't know. It doesn't matter. But again, that's just another way you can add more photos in as well. If you have more photos, is see if you can make them smaller. And other than that, I'm pretty much going to follow the way that they had the sketch. I do kind of, you know, the clusters might not be exactly the same, but the same elements. I just might have moved, you know, something to the right a little or down a little or up a little. So I am really super happy with this layout. You know, for being one of these kits, I'm glad I bought this kit. The first layout came out really well, and the second layout came out really well. I know when these kits first came out, I wasn't super crazy about them, and they're not something I'm always going to buy, but they are definitely, this one really I was happy with, especially the go-kart one, which you guys might know. That's why I bought this one. And you know what? If you wanted to, you could always save that direction sheet and use it for like inspiration for another layout, you know, if you wanted to do another layout with a different kit someday in the future. So keep that in mind as well. I didn't keep mine. I didn't even think about it, to be honest, until I was doing this voiceover. So yeah. Up next, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how I cut the page protectors, and then after that there will be a few photos for you to see, the still shot photos, because I did find those. And then that will be it for this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. All right, bye everyone. Now my layouts are in page protectors. I don't always do this step until I know where my page is going to go in the albums, but I wanted to do this to kind of show you how I handle it. So I don't need this left-hand side. I'm going to move it to the side. If you were to adhere your flip-flap to the outside of your page protector, you could just go ahead and take the adhesive off, line it up, and glue it down. You could do it with the adhesive up above. You could do it with the adhesive to one side or the other, or you could fold it over like I did in mine. Same thing. And you just simply glue it down and then add the photos in outside. For some reason in my area, the flip-flops do not stay stuck to my page protectors. They just don't. They do for a while and then they fall apart. So that is why I've just found, and plus I like the way it looks a little better if you glue the adhesive to the paper. It's all personal choice, totally up to you. But my layout is now in here. You can see the flip-flap is in here. So one thing that I do is I kind of take the layout, and I don't know where, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I used to have a small cutting pad that was just like yay big, like 4x6 size. Lately, I have literally just taken my knife and kind of cut along there, but I don't want to teach you guys how to do it that way. So one way you can do it is to make sure your layout is nice and snug in there. Make sure it's down all the way wherever you want your flip-flap to go. And then let's try it this way. I'm wondering if this will work. Just take a pencil, because the pencil won't really show up. Let me zoom in. The pencil isn't going to really show up. I'm just going to kind of go along, and it's because the flip-flap is a little bit lifted, you can kind of tell where it's going to go, so it keeps the pencil straight for you. and just draw, kind of push into it. And basically this is kind of just like embossing. It's not really putting a mark on there. I mean, it might be putting a little bit of a mark, but it's not going to show up super well. Then take a cutting mat of any kind and put it in there. And if you want to, you can line up that line that you can see right there with one of these lines to try to get it a little straighter. But for video purposes, I'm going to do it where you can see. Then you just take your knife. Let me make sure I'm in camera. Just make sure your box knife is nice and sharp. And all you do, I'm just trying to see. I can't really lean over. You guys won't be able to see. And then you just slowly go along here. I think the fuse tool might have also came with like something that will cut, but I think that's a lot of extra work just for, you know, cutting the page protector. So now it's cut. And then what I like to do is kind of pull the layout out a little bit so you can kind of see that line going along there. Then I lift this up, kind of pull it up more, get it in there, and then pull it down. And now you can see when you lift this up the first time, it'll kind of go behind there and tuck behind there. And there you go. So, oops, sorry, I always go the wrong way with that. All right, now it's perfectly on there and I don't have to worry about it coming off. Isn't that great? I love it. And yeah, so if you have any more questions about how the flip-flop works or how to do that again, let me know. I use flip-flops not all the time, but occasionally. I noticed I've been using them a little bit more lately because I've had more photos. But yeah, just make sure your layout is nice and snug into your page protector before you do it. And it's good. All right, I'll see you guys next video.